The Ball Boys. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
On, boys.
We're gonna talk a little bit of AFC this evening. We're just
Best
gonna
division
kind
in
of
football.
the what?
Best division in football.
Pretty much. Um, we're just gonna kind of do a roundtable and go through like all the teams and kind of get feedback from Keegan and Nick here and see what they think of these teams going into 2022. So without further ado, let's go AFC North. Might as well hit home for you guys. Uh, to calm you down, we'll start with the Ravens. They kept Calais Campbell in town. They signed Marcus Williams out of New Orleans, and Morgan Moses came in. They drafted Kyle Hamilton, Keegan's guy from Notre Dame. They also got Tyler Linderbaum, who was a top lineman in the draft.
My number one lineman is my favorite.
My favorite pick personally of theirs was David Ojabo from Michigan, who tore his ACL. If he comes back to form, he's a stud. They also got Travis Jones out of UConn, who's a huge presence at the D tackle. Lost to Marquise Brown, lost Sammy Watkins, lost some other defensive players. They lost their center, but they drafted Linderbaum. Bleacher Report gave him a B plus. I kind of like that grade. Keegan, what do you think?
Yeah, I think they drafted pretty well. I mean, like I said, that lineman from Iowa, I loved him. Aside from the tackle out of Northern Iowa, that was my favorite. That was my favorite lineman on the board. So like I said, I would probably agree with the B plus draft rating, but they already have a good squad anyway. Talking about it, just AFC North, kind of glad you picked them because as much as it hurts me to say, that's who I think is going to end up winning the AFC North. I did kind of because originally I was going to try to do the whole like pick everyone's schedules, who's going to their everybody's records, and I quickly realized that there's no way I'm going to remember who I picked where, and the math won't add up. So I just did kind of a ceiling thing. I have the Ravens at their ceiling's 12 wins. I think they can win 12 games this year, and they'll be set. I think that's pretty much their ceiling. That's what I'm expecting from them. That'll win the AFC North.
And a 12-win season in that division is easily first, if not tied for first, just because of how competitive it is. Nick, where are you at in the Ravens?
I agree with Keegan. Riddled with injuries last year. Regardless of who they played, it was a ball game, and that's a scary thing. Absolutely crippled on defense. Was it obviously Dobbins? Was Gus Edwards out majority of the year too? Or he was on and off. He had some injury issues.
No,
too.
Gus Edwards tore his ACL in preseason also.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah.
So it's a scary sight. I think 12 wins is a solid number. Don't be surprised if they get to 13, maybe even 14. And then, they just added on the draft. I think they had the best, at least best first round. They had, 2 picks in the first round?
I think so.
Yeah, unbelievable. They're definitely coming out of the North.
It wouldn't surprise me. And plus, you got Lamar, who hasn't had his contract extension yet. So, technically, he still has to earn it because he hasn't been given it yet, which could be a scary thing, like we're all saying.
How do you feel about him representing himself?
I just feel like that always doesn't go in their favor.
Yeah.
Isn't it his mom?
I think she might have got the boot.
Okay. So he just took over or whatever. She represented him as a rookie,
Yeah.
Possibly. Well, yeah, the Ravens are probably going to be scary. Just for the game of football, I hope they are not riddled with injuries. It just sucks when you see that shit happen. But
I know it happened last year.
But
speaking of riddled with injuries, the Cleveland Browns. Obviously, we know Deshaun Watson was acquired, and they spent a freaking haul on him and paid him. And then right now we're unsure how much he's going to play. They also signed Jakeem Grant. That's, I don't know, special teams really. Tight end, David Njoku, they re-signed / whatever, extended him, I think. Really excited to see what he's going to do this year. And then they traded for Amari Cooper for a bag of chips, which was crazy. Their draft, I didn't necessarily love their draft. I like David Bell from Purdue. I like that pick. And losing, especially when they lost Jarvis Landry and Rashard Higgins, which Higgins didn't make as much of an impact, but he was there and he was reliable at times. So Bleacher Report gave him a C. I would give him a C plus just because they went and got a top tier quarterback in the league. So that's where I'm at. Nick, with the Browns, like, how do you feel about their offseason?
Who knows? Highs, lows, everything in between. At the end of the day, it all rides on what happens with Deshaun Watson, which no one apparently has an answer to. If he's back, I think they can compete with the Ravens for that top spot. Definitely be a threat in the AFC probably next season when they can all gel together, work together. But if Deshaun Watson's there this season, they're definitely going to be a threat. They're going to be a scary sight with all their potential weapons.
Yeah, that's a fact. I also forgot to mention they signed Josh Rosen today. So, I mean, that's just big,
Look
big
out.
boy moves only. Keegan, where are
It's a
you with the
scary
Browns?
sight.
Well, all right. When it comes to the Browns, I mean, again, I'm going to piggyback off. I think it goes without saying a lot of this rides on Deshaun Watson, but I'm going to call me a Steelers fan, hater, whatever. Browns are still going Browns. They're going to find a way to screw it up. They have one of the best running backs in the league. They signed Amari Cooper. They signed Deshaun Watson, who, if he plays, I think they'll do better. But their luck that he'll probably get suspended all year. So we don't know where that stands right now. But nonetheless, I kind of have them last in the division right now. I don't think they've outgrown the Cleveland curse. If you want to count the one playoff win a couple years ago, I guess that's a success. But I think they're going to be an 8-win team, maybe 9 wins, and finish last in the division.
Is that 8 or 9 wins with Deshaun?
Yeah.
If he was playing all 17 games, you say 8,
Yeah.
9, and 8 or whatever? Okay.
8, 9 wins. Maybe 10 if Deshaun Watson doesn't get any suspension.
So
maybe.
What if Deshaun's out for the year and it's either Jacoby Brissett, Josh Rosen, or I don't
Joshua
know.
Dobbs.
Yeah. Like if it's one of the backups, basically.
It could get ugly quick. If I had to just spitball here, not looking at the schedule in front of me, I think we're maybe looking at like 5 to 6 wins.
And that's only because of Nick Chubb. Like legit.
Yeah.
That's the only reason they would
it's Nick Chubb in that line, which I will never knock that line. They have one of the best lines
when
in the league. Yeah, they are awesome. They're ass beaters.
Yeah,
I love the Browns line, but
top 5 easily.
It's gonna be on Chubb's back. And that's if they run the ball, which has been apparently a play calling issue we saw last year. They won't run the damn ball.
Look, I'm telling you right now, if Stefanski doesn't give Chubb 60+% of the carries like he did in 2020, he only did that in 2 or 3 games in 2021, and they stunk. Like, yeah, because you avoided your bread and butter that was in Minnesota. You did your bread and butter in Cleveland, and it worked, and then you stopped. What are you doing? If he's a good coach, he goes right back to it. I've been saying all offseason.
I'll even cut in on that at 60% of the snaps, whatever, that's fine. I'm okay if you mix Hunt in. I'm okay with, what is the other one? Dearness Johnson?
Yep.
That's his name. Mix those guys in. Just run the fucking ball. That's all they need to do. Run the damn ball. That's the big takeaway. I don't care who's in that backfield. It should be Chubb for obvious reasons, but all 3 of them can do it.
Yeah, you're not kidding. We'll stay in Ohio. We'll save the best for last, boys. I promise.
Yeah, we will.
Moving down Southwest Ohio, the Cincinnati Bengals, who we saw just pull a Super Bowl appearance out of their ass.
Second place, baby.
They go. I know. They go and acquire Lyle Collins from Dallas. They also get Alex Kappa from, I think, New England. No. Alex Kappa, I don't know where he's from. Ted Karras was from New England. They also sneakily silently added Hayden Hurst, which I feel like not a lot of people are talking. But CJ Uzomah got a lot of action in that offense.
Uzomah's gone, right?
We know that Jesse Bates is dealing with contract negotiation issues. They also drafted a guy named Daxton Hill out of, I think, Michigan, who people were saying they did this on purpose because they knew this could happen. Whatever, I don't know. People were excited about him. They lost Uzomah. They lost Larry Ogunjobi, Auden Tate, and I think they lost another receiver, John Ross, maybe, but again,
He's been gone since he got drafted.
okay, yeah, pretty much. So Bleacher Report has them at a B. I think I would go up to a B plus just because of how much work they did on the line, and that was like their only flaw on offense, at least for the most part.
Yeah.
So I personally think it's a B plus, but we'll go to Keegan here first. What do you think?
I think the Bengals did okay. They addressed their needs finally. They got a line finally. Now, unfortunately, with this going into the season, I do think they're going to be a good team still, but they're not going to repeat last year. And I think they're going to catch that injury bug that the Ravens had last year. As sad as it is coming from up top here, I think they're going to fall a little bit. Now, not much. I think we're going to see like a similar record. I have them right now at like 10 wins.
Playoff team?
What'd you say?
Playoff team?
I have them just outside the playoffs. I have them finishing third in the division.
Okay. Nick?
Yeah, sorry about that, boys. I'm back. Got it on my computer, so hopefully everything's smooth. Now I was distracted there for a minute.
I hope you're okay.
They addressed their needs. Their offensive line, that's for sure. I lean towards Keegan. They're not going to be able to do what they did last year. Last year was a fluke. What was their playoff route? Did they play the Chiefs in the playoffs?
They did. They beat the Chiefs in
They beat the Chiefs twice.
Game?
That's not going to
Raiders,
happen.
Chiefs?
Did they who the Titans lose to? Was it the Chiefs then?
No, it was a
Bengals?
Yeah. Second round.
Yeah. So that was a fluke. You're not going to beat the Chiefs twice in a season. They caught magic, or lightning in a bottle, whatever you want to call it. Think this goes a long way having film. There's full film of Joe Burrow, full film of Jamar Chase. Everyone's dogging on these Madden rankings. Jamar Chase is going to live up to that 86 to 87 this year. They're just not going to be the team. I have them just outside the playoffs. You're not going to beat the Ravens. You're not going to beat a Steelers, who we'll touch on in a second.
I got a point or a question.
Yes.
So Justin Jefferson comes into the league. You'll see my connection here. Hold on. Bear with me.
Yep.
Justin Jefferson comes in the league. People dog him in preseason. He comes out, sets a rookie record in receiving yards. Jamar Chase comes into the league. People are dogging him for the size of the football, saying he couldn't separate. Comes in, dominates, gets the rookie receiving record. People didn't dog Justin Jefferson after that season, but now people are dogging Chase. Why do you think that is?
That's a good question. I think Chase hits closer to home for me because I don't like the Bengals. So I pay more attention to that. You could have told me Justin Jefferson had a down year and I would have never questioned it. Or he had a better this season than last season, would have never questioned it. So that's where my point is. Keegan, you might have a little more info into that.
Well, I think I was a big Jamar Chase hater last year because as these two know, I lost my fucking mind when they didn't go Penei Sewell. I thought it was the dumbest shit ever. He's very good. I've kind of switched roles where I don't hate on Jamar Chase anymore. Actually, fun fact, we'll get to the bone zone later, but he was the first receiver I took.
Last year?
Yeah.
This year in that dynasty league.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's the first receiver I took.
I do think a lot of his stuff is – I don't think he'd perform as well if it wasn't for Burrow.
Oh, no.
Well, yeah, but that's
I think
not a knock
that
on
connection
him.
certainly helps. And now there's film on both of them. Their players are going to stop. So who does Burrow have to rely on? T. Higgins?
Okay, T. Higgins was borderline going to be their main receiver until they drafted
I
him.
did see his stat. He was
So
like,
don't do that.
He had like what? I think it was like somewhere between like 5 and 7 tackles on the 1 yard line that could have resulted in touchdowns.
Yeah.
Tough.
All right. Enough Bengals talk. We'll have to see. They're going to be a huge, like, what's going to happen to them this year kind of team. We'll move on to the Iron City. The Iron City, the Iron Curtain, whatever you want to call them. Pittsburgh Steelers. We saw Big Ben retire. Rest in peace, Big Ben.
Putting down an old dog needed to happen.
But they bring in MVP Mitch Trubisky, They got an offensive lineman in Mason Cole and James Daniels. They also brought in Miles Jack, which was a crazy addition to the defense, in my opinion. Drafted Kenny Pickett, small hands. George Pickens, who I think is a very underrated receiver. And then a guy named Calvin Austin. He's just kind of a special. He's probably like your new Ray McLeod, basically.
Yeah, somewhat like that.
Juju's gone, which I know you guys probably have. You're not probably caught up on that, but he's still a talented player.
Mhm.
James Washington's also gone. I don't really think you all care about him that much. And Try Turner left, which whatever. The Bleach Report gives them a C+. I think I'm going to give it a C just because I need to see whoever plays quarterback. I need to see it work. So that's where I'm at with it. I like the moves. I love Najee, and I think he's going to be the center of the offense now. You also have wide receiver one Deontay Johnson on your team. Claypool, who we know is like super freakishly athletic, and the deep ball sort of his thing. Now you got George Pickens, and I feel like Chase Claypool is going to take away from Pickens. Or no, Pickens is going to take away from Claypool, but you never know with different quarterbacks coming in. This one, we are going to go to Nick.
Perfect. So before I address some of those things, I do want to talk about that. You touched on it with your Twitter the other day about that line graph of the offensive lines, how they upgraded or went down. I saw the Steelers went down. What are your thoughts on that? Even though we addressed our needs, it still went down. I want to hear your thoughts first.
Well, I think that's just because the general consensus or whoever made that graph feels like they weren't good offensive line moves. But when your offensive line is bad and you make moves, I only see that as a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
It means you're trying to improve, so you're trying to do the right things. And even if they're not significantly better and they're just slightly better, it's an improvement. So it's not going to drop down like that person had on the graph. And that's why I have Najee as my RB1 in fantasy, and why I think Najee is absolutely going to go obliterate the league this year is just with an improvement of the line. He's still as good. I don't see the line being an issue. And now you got a quarterback who, no offense, Big Ben, is a lot more quick with the ball and is younger and, just more peppy about having the football in his hand. He's not a Hall of Famer, but I'm not worried.
No, I agree. And I think that's where that C grade comes in, which, I mean, I'm going to say C+ because I'm a fan and I'm biased.
Yeah.
But we address our needs. Were they major upgrades? No. Were they roughly the same, if not a skosh better? Yes, hopefully. Yeah. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's going from like the 30th best offensive line to like the 27th best offensive line. So I agree with that in a way. I hope these offensive line moves pan out. Keegan, I know you're our resident offensive line guy. What are your thoughts on the line before we address the other things?
I was just wanting to cut in on that. Okay, so that grading going down, my personal opinion is because they are not flashy name guys. If you watch their film, this line is going to be so much better than it was last year, and it's not going to be flash. The Cole guy, his last name slipping me.
Mason Cole.
Mason Cole, thank you. Mason Cole is going to be a great center guard, whatever you want to play him at. And fun fact for you, he got drafted in Arizona, traded to Minnesota, took the starting starting job for the Minnesota center, who they used a first-round draft pick on a few years ago. He was out of NC State. Mason Cole came in and took his job. Now he's signing with the Steelers. That's a solid, just lunch pail guy. The other guy, the guard from the Bear that we signed from the Bears, you put on his highlight tape. The first highlight is him picking up a linebacker and throwing him. These guys are just ass beaters. So on paper, doesn't look pretty, but on the field, I think it's going to be phenomenal. And I agree with you. I love the Najee being your number one fantasy pick because he's going to be able to run the ball because they're not flashy. They're not big names. That's why on paper it looks bad, but in real life, they are going to be a good offensive line. They're going to be very good, in my opinion.
I think very good's a stretch, but I'm not going against your vibe. I do think they'll be good.
Okay, I got a little bit of bias with me, but
no, I understand. That's okay.
They're going to be very good compared to last year. I'll backtrack a little bit. Very good compared to last year.
And I don't mind bias. bias and football are a great mixture when you're talking football. Let your bias be involved. That doesn't matter. Okay.
Keegan, top 15 line.
I'm gonna
Very
say 16,
close.
right at halfway.
Very close.
They got a lot of work to do to get there.
Very close. I think Dotson comes into his own.
Fair. Tony, you brought a good point with that Miles Jack signing that not a lot of people are talking about. Keegan, is he the same position as Devin Bush?
Yes.
Uh-oh, that's not good for your guy. But before we get there, I hope to God that we utilize him more than we utilize Melvin Ingram.
Yeah.
Melvin Ingram, hot those first 2 games. For whatever reason, stopped utilizing him, and he wanted to trade him. What the hell did we do? We traded him to the Chiefs, the best damn team of football. So I hope to God that we utilize Miles Jack better than we were able to utilize Melvin Ingram, even though different positions, but I don't want the same thing to happen. We get a big-name defensive guy in, and we just don't utilize him. Keegan, what are your thoughts there, going up against your boy Devin Bush?
I do like Devin Bush, and I am a believer that, I mean, he tore his ACL in his second year, and then the third year is kind of it's hard to come back from.
Last year was his third year, right? First year back after.
Yeah, first
year back after ACL injury.
First year back after ACL, and I'm of the belief, because I really liked him when we picked him. I think he had a really good rookie season. But I'm just banking on that second year is the first time you're 100% from an ACL. I'm just absolutely banking on that. With the Miles Jack thing, don't forget Steelers run a 3-4. So you're going to have both of them at middle linebacker. So I think it's going to work out well. And I just think, my personal opinion on the Melvin Ingram stuff, he was older. I don't think he was fully bought in. I think Schobert was showing more potential, so they're giving him snaps. That's what happened with that. I think with Miles Jack, he's going to come in. He wants to be there. He's obviously skilled. I mean, he carried the fucking Jaguars defense from the time he was drafted. So I think it's going to come in, and it's going to be beautiful. I'm banking on Bush being better after this ACL, but I'm pretty rock solid that Miles Jack's going to be a stud in the middle.
Maybe we can catch some of that fire that Devin Bush and Bud Dupree had before all hell broke loose on their ACLs. And who was our linebacker, the Italian white guy?
Spillane?
What?
Spillane?
Yep, Spillane.
Yep.
That was tough.
He's good. He's a gritty guy.
Cool. And then one more thing about the Steelers, we obviously got to touch on the quarterbacks. It's been a roller coaster. I love Mitch Trubisky. I want him to be beyond successful. Huge Kenny Pickett guy. I want him to be beyond successful. I'm torn on who I want to start. I know who I want to start, but I don't want to see either guy lose the job. So with that being said, Mitch Trubisky, I want him to start. I hope he starts the season.
You know, it's going to be like the Dolphins when Tua was a rookie, right? Where like Pickett's going to go play a game, and then Trubisky's going to go play a game, and then
so frustrating.
Pickett's going to come back in for like 2 games, and then Mitch for 3 games. It's going to be really annoying to watch.
I totally disagree.
We've never had a quarterback situation like this. This is new water for us.
That's
it won't happen.
And I like
because Mitch is going to be so good.
Nope. I was just about to say he could be good. He could be the bridge guy, whatever. The Steelers being the Steelers, the way they handle things, they will not touch Pickett until at least next year. He will sit on the bench, he'll hold a clipboard. Unless there's an injury that happens, he's not touching the field. I mean, it's what, in my personal opinion, we've talked years ago, that's what they should have done with Tua. But
that's kind of what I'm saying is going to happen. Like, it's not like Pickett's going to go in and be bad. Trubisky's going to come. I'm like, they're going to bounce back and forth because of injury. And I'm not saying that's like, they're not just going to be like, oh, Mitch is so bad, we're switching to Pickett. Oh, no, we're going back to Mitch. It's going to be because Mitch gets banged up or something.
And I'm not full. I mean, yeah, in that circumstance, I could see it. But I'm honestly not fully convinced that they won't throw Mason out there.
I forgot he's on the team.
He's fucking horrible.
There's
no need for his
the Steelers want to. If the Steelers are as bought in as what it seems on Pickett, they will save him at all costs. They'll let him sit. because he's not. And the example is Roethlisberger came in his rookie year, but they saw so much potential with him, and he was just so big and obviously was ready. There are questions around Pickett. Hand size being one. I know we joke about it, but
That doesn't matter. I think that is the most overrated thing that one can possibly discuss.
Burrow had the same thing. What the fuck?
Yeah. And it's just like he's an NFL quarterback. You mean it's just like, what are you going to do? It's just like dogging on a quarterback for not being 6'1" or taller. Like that's good. That's done. That's gone. It's vanished. You got Russ, Kyler Murray. Baker's 6 foot.
Tua.
Always Tua. Yeah, 5'9" king. No. But at the end of the day, we don't need a Pro Bowl quarterback. We just need a
game manager.
Quarterback. Yes, someone who can throw the ball decently, get it to the receivers. Our defense is more carried us. They got better. Exactly.
You're describing Mitch Trubisky.
We just need someone that's serviceable. Anything above that is a gift. Because, I mean, we made the playoffs with 1/4 of a quarterback last year.
Yeah.
And we only got better on defense, and we'll see about offense. Your boy Claypool, you're on these guys, and they just aren't producing.
All right, is it my time to rant?
If you haven't already, please do.
Okay, so I'm gonna circle back to that Claypool because he love him and hate him at the same fucking time because he won't grow up. But I'll circle back to that. With the Pickett thing, I want to make it very clear with my little rant thing, was not a fan of the Pickett pick. And nothing against the kid. Don't dislike him at all. The Pittsburgh Steelers wasted a first-round pick on a quarterback when next year's draft is stocked with quarterbacks. There was no quarterback in this draft that should have gone first round. No first-round talent quarterback, but the Steelers got a little bit nervous. They're not sure Trubisky's the guy, so they jumped the gun. I think we could have used that first-round pick for so many other areas.
Still have one next year.
I know, but
I agree with you there. And if we didn't have Mitch, I would have loved the pick.
I would agree, but yeah, we went out, we got Mitch. That's at the least, that's our bridge quarterback. That buys us, he's on a 2-year contract. That buys us at least 1 year to draft next year, if not 2 to develop somebody. But I'll digress from that. That's fine. I'll circle back to the Claypool thing. I love Notre Dame. That's where he's from. Came out as everyone thought he was going to be a tight end because he's massive, and then he comes out and runs a 4.4. He frustrates me so much because he has so much potential, so much athletic ability. He could be the best receiver on that team, but he is just a moron sometimes. He just is so immature, drops balls that he shouldn't. He just needs to, if he just grows up, he could be the best receiver on that team. If not in the conversation of, he has like the skill set to be a top receiver in the league. I'm not going to say the top or anything like that, but he's a top. He has the ability to be a top guy, and he just pisses it away sometimes.
It's a unique situation, Tony. I want to hear your input on our receiver room because you know our feelings about Deontay Johnson. We don't see the value a lot of people do, and maybe as in people, the fantasy value, but I mean, that doesn't always translate to on-field production and value there. So What are your thoughts with Deontay Johnson? Is it a good point? He's obviously not going to see a double team, I feel like. Do you think he'll get the best corner on the field versus Claypool? What are your thoughts there?
Do you guys like Brandon Cooks?
No.
Think he's a good receiver?
I'm indifferent on him.
That's what I meant. Do you think he's a good receiver?
Sure. Yeah, serviceable.
Yeah.
Deontay Johnson is a way better Brandon Cooks. Completely reliable. Just is a really good route runner, gets separation, and can catch the ball now. We saw it. He was in the top 5 of not dropping the ball this year. The complete opposite of the year before. Deontay Johnson is not going to be like Julio in his prime. He's not going to be like, I don't know. I can't think of other, but fucking Chad Ochocinco or something in his prime. Like, Deontay Johnson is just going to be a reliable, get peppered with targets kind of guy and catch it every time it comes my way kind of guy. I think he's going to hold down your guys' receiving room as long as he's in Pittsburgh. And knowing Pittsburgh, when Deontay once paid, see you later. That's just what they do. They know they can develop receivers. It's nothing against them. I wouldn't pay receivers either if I can just keep producing studs. Like it's just a simple recipe and they know it and they can do it. So see you later. Go get your money elsewhere. Claypool, same thing as Keegan. He's got all the skill set to be the guy. He just needs to get over the hump and become like the Larry Fitzgerald kind of guy, not the tickle my taint Juju Smith guy. And Pickens, I feel like he's underrated, but I don't want to like put him on a mountain by himself. I think he was a top 3 receiver in the draft in terms of overall talent. And adding him's fantastic. You guys also got someone else in free agency. I think I can't remember who, but I really like your receiver room and Pat Fryermuth. Super reliable tight end, freakishly athletic. Like you guys found a Kroger brand Heath Miller with Pat Fryermuth.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that.
Calvin Austin, Gunnar Olszewski, Miles Boykin.
Gunnar Olszewski, is that Olszewski?
That's who I was thinking of.
He's not gonna.
That dude's gonna be a good returner.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what he did in England.
He's like great.
I think he was all pro with the Patriots returner.
Yeah, I think he was actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do keep 3, and the keep 3 category: fast food restaurants. You can only keep 3 the rest of your life, and you have to tell me why you would keep it. I can go first since I brought it up and give you guys time to think, if you would like.
Go for it.
Okay. I'm 100% not getting rid of Taco Bell. No way.
Love that.
I love Baja Blast, the cheesy gordita crunches, the snack wrap, or what are those? They're like the
Crunch Wrap.
Crunch Wrap Supreme.
Yes.
I can never remember the name. I love those. Baja sauce, dude. Taco Bell, I couldn't get rid of it. And then burgers wise, I think Wendy's has got my heart right now between the Baconator and this grilled ranch chicken or crispy ranch chicken sandwich. It's a bacon cheddar chicken sandwich. That's what it's called. That fucking sandwich is my favorite lunch during the week. No cap. So I've got Taco Bell and Wendy's. My third one, this is a toss-up. But I think it would be Chick-fil-A. Mainly because I get it for lunch a lot. So it'd screw up my life if I couldn't have it for lunch. Plus, Maddie likes it, so we'd be able to go there. So I got Taco Bell, Wendy's, and Chick-fil-A. Those are my 3 fast food restaurants that I would not be able to live without. Who wants to go next?
I would love to.
Go for it.
So, like you said, huge Wendy's guy, right? But I'm going In-N-Out. If you have not had In-N-Out, to me, it is a better burger than Wendy's.
Okay.
So I'm keeping In-N-Out. Taco Bell, no doubt. I was torn between that and Chipotle, but at the end of the day, there's just more options at Taco Bell, and it's good.
Chipotle's fucking ass now, too.
I haven't been in a minute, to be honest.
Yeah, because they suck.
Fair. And then my third one, kind of a wild card. It was down between this and Arby's, but it's Jersey Mike's.
Ooh.
I'm a huge sub guy. Love subs on Saturday football, Sunday football. Huge sub guy.
Okay, I like that pick. I know I'm going to your house to watch football if I lose.
Little wild card.
All right, Keegan. Who's your keep 3?
His are probably like fucking Arby's, Burger King, and Subway.
Well, first of all, you didn't even pick the best sub place. Firehouse subs beats Jersey Mike's every day. But
Firehouse is
anyway,
expensive.
I went Chipotle. I mean, that's honestly, that was the first one I wrote down. 1-1. You can have your opinions. Maybe it's locally that it's ass, but I mean, even when it's bad, it's good. I was gonna make a joke, but I'm gonna save that for a different time. My next one was gonna be Wendy's, solely for the Baconator. Best burger in fast food. I mean, I'll argue with anybody. The Baconator is the best burger on the market.
Keegan, that's where you go argue with the wall because you're not going to argue with them because you're right.
Oh, Baconator is so fucking good. I'm not even the mayo guy, but the fact that the ketchup and the mayo with the
severely underrated breakfast menu too. If you guys
yes,
the breakfast Baconator. The only complaint I have is I don't like the frosted chino. I thought it would be sweeter than what it was. Maybe it's an expectations thing, but I just was underwhelmed.
Have you tried the strawberry frosty? I thought it was pretty good.
I had it. It's not bad. I'm a traditionalist. I like chocolate frosties.
Yeah.
I'll try like I've had vanilla a handful of times. But
Yeah.
Chocolate guy, traditional.
Yeah.
But
3.
My third one is gonna be a little bit of a surprise pick, I think. But I'll be honest, it is down the street from where I work, and I eat this motherfucker probably almost every day, if not every other day.
Wingstop.
Baby Bop.
Damn it.
Oh.
That's a good call. That's a good call.
They put crack or something in there, dude. I crave it around lunchtime. I don't know if it's close, but like I have a Chipotle that's down the street. I'm right next to a Cane's, even closer to a Taco Bell. Every day, Baby Bop. About 12:30, 1 o'clock. I'm like, dude, I need the teriyaki. That's my third pick.
You don't even go yum yum sauce?
I like teriyaki more.
I figured you'd be a yum yum guy. You
I'm
said Cane's though?
I am. I had yum yum tonight.
Hell yeah. Hibachi night.
Mass. Oh.
What'd you say, Nick?
Nothing.
No, before that.
You said Cane's. Have y'all ever had Zaxby's?
Yeah, that's good.
Zaxby's better than Cane's. I had it when I came to visit you.
Okay, that's enough fucking restaurants, sir, before things get heated.
You're talking to a bunch of fat dudes. What did you expect?
Let's move on to the bone zone, baby.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, this is our little fantasy football segment. So we just are going to touch on one subject a week. Usually keep it short and brief. I want to know between you and Keegan, Nick, you're going to go first. Like what's your approach to fantasy football? Like not necessarily a strategy, just like when you're going to play fantasy football and your draft is happening, what's your approach?
For me, I think being in the top 3-4 picks, it's very easy. You take the top guy there.
Okay.
After that, I don't have one.
Yeah.
I generally go top guy there. Unfortunately, I'm big time name guy. So unless I'll see a list of names, whatever name in my head is the biggest name there, I'm drafting him.
So you go with the sexy pick.
Yeah. Like you can show me Arian Foster on a list, I'll pick him.
Yeah. Okay.
I know that when we get down to the nitty gritty of running backs, if he's on there, I would take him because I know his name. But unfortunately, I don't have too much of a strategy. I go for, again, like you said, sexy name. Hasn't panned out because I haven't won a whole lot, but it will eventually. I like my teams every year.
Try a strategy this year. See what happens. It can't hurt you, right? If you haven't won yet.
I think I know a guy who can help me out.
Yeah, okay. You go best player available by the sexy pick. I like that. Yeah. It's just really like sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, which as you found it doesn't.
Yeah, and it's not like I've ever really been riddled with injuries. It just doesn't work out.
Yeah. Keegan, how you approach it? Draft day?
If we're talking draft day, I like to be in that like middle. I don't want to be the first 2 picks. I want to be like 3 to 5 in a 12-man league, 3 to 6, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Preferably 3. 3 is probably my favorite draft position because the top guys are out. Now it's a little more, I think it's a little more obvious. There's no pressure to it. Like just go with best available. But to be truthful with you, depending on how it goes, like how I'm seeing it going this year, I'm a big like running back guy. And then as it's coming back, get some receivers. If not, like snap, and if it goes top 2 running backs, I might snag who I think is going to be the top receiver. But I like balancing out in the first few rounds, running back, wide receiver, and then occasionally mix in that quarterback a little bit in like the 4th, 5th round, somewhere in there, and then try to snag a tight end when I can.
Yeah.
I try to get a big name at every position, and then I'm like, then I start looking at like,
Fill in the gaps.
In the ball, who's this running back's line, stuff like that. I fill gaps in. I'm creature of habit, just like Nick was saying. I'm a big name guy. I don't care if you're gonna tell me that this dude that's coming from second team, he's going to get all the reps. If you put a big name in front of me, I'm still taking the big name, whether it makes sense or not, whether he's projected or not. If I think in my football brain that he's going to have a better game, I'm going to take him.
Okay.
That's one of the wires too.
I agree with that. And like, unless you're getting like, I'd say like Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, you can wait on a quarterback. Same thing, tight end, Kittle, Kelsey, Mike G, even Mark Andrews now. You can wait on a tight end down the line too. So running back and receiver heavy early on.
Yeah.
I like that. I typically I'll look at like the way the roster looks like. So like with ours last year, we had 2 quarterback, 2 flex, 2 wide receiver, 2 running back, and a tight end. And like for me, that makes tight end the least valuable position when you add another flex. Because normally the tight end is one of the most valuable because you get guys like Kelsey, Kittle, Mark Andrews who pop off and like are just easily the high scoring. Even with receivers, they'll be in the top 10. It's basically just having a receiver as a tight end. And like when you take away the tight end position, I'm like, well, I'm not going to focus on one of the main guys because there's only like 3 or 4 that are really impactful. And outside of that, you can grab a guy who's like the 20th tight end selected who finishes as like the 8th, but it really doesn't matter, even though he's the 8th tight end. I like to heavy load up on wide receivers because there's more high scoring wide receivers than running backs year to year. And so like if I have the chance, I'm going to take shots on guys. Like in some mock drafts, I'm getting like AJ Brown, Deontay Johnson, and DK Metcalf. And it's just because people are fading DK Metcalf because he's got Drew Lock. They're fading AJ Brown because he's got Jalen Hurts. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. They're really good receivers. They're going to get the ball.
Yeah.
That's how football works.
Deontay Johnson had Big Ben.
Yeah. And now he's got a guy who can consistently throw the ball further down the field and take shots and do those things. So like, that's just how I approach it. Like I look at the guy's scenario. I'm like, does he have the chance to lead the team in receptions? Okay, I'm going to take a shot at him. Jacoby Myers. He was like, I think, the high-end wide receiver last year in New England, which isn't sexy because Mac Jones isn't the greatest quarterback, but he's consistent and he has a good completion percentage. And Jacoby Myers, while he doesn't score a lot of touchdowns, they're gonna come. Like the touchdowns will come. Like getting guys like that, Allen Lazard, he's going to be potentially Packers' best receiver, unless this Christian Watson kid goes off, which is certainly possible, but you never know coming from FCS. So that's where I'm at. I kind of just look and find the best scenario guys available when it's my pick, and I try and fill those spots. If it falls to the point where like Derek Carr, he's going really late in mock drafts, I'm going to take him in the 9th, 10th round and wait and fill up the rest of my roster because I think Derek Carr is going to have a freaking crazy good year.
Hope so. He's got Devontae Adams now.
Yeah, man. He's got one of the best, if not the best receiver in the league. It's crazy.
Oh, don't forget Hunter Renfrow.
Well, he'll be great in the red zone. That was his bread and butter.
Are you even going to consider even sniffing N'Keal Harry?
The problem is he's not a good receiver. Like
it's not like his system sucked. He was
like he's Chase Claypool without all the Chase Claypool talent. That's the only thing. He's got the body, the size, and the speed, but like you still have to run routes. You still have to get separation. You still have to break the guy's hands off. You still have to catch the ball. You still have to know routes. You still have to know the plays. He's not good at that. So like whatever the Patriots. The Patriots got what, a 7th rounder for him? Steal.
Yeah. Question for you in the fantasy realm.
Yeah.
Why are kickers a hot topic? Why do people not like to have kickers in their league?
I don't know, because they're fun haters. Kickers are
Yeah, that's.
I don't.
I would never not want a kicker.
I'm not gonna lose sleep if they get taken off, but I'm gonna enjoy it if they're on the roster. Like whatever. I like picking a kicker. Like
Yeah.
I love being the guy in the 9th round. It's like, oh, I hate everyone on the board. I'm taking Justin Tucker in the 9th round.
Yeah, just start to break the dam of kickers.
Yeah,
And
because
even better,
fuck.
Everyone panics.
even better to get to hate on the one motherfucker that takes Justin Tucker. That's fun too. Just go,
Yeah.
that fucking asshole.
Yeah, pretty much.
That is the best.
Every year we got one guy who does it.
Yep.
I feel like it's usually Hunter that will
Yep.
like snag
Yeah,
Justin.
HD snacks Justin Tucker every fucking year, and we'll just have a consistent 15 points from him.
Yeah.
Well,
But yeah,
that's
I
the
love
bone zone for you. This is where you get boned.
Nice.
All
That was
right,
your
boys, this
outro.
was fun. I had fun. Hopefully, we can
I had a blast.
bring
I
it
love
back
talking
in next
ball.
week.
Oh, also, Christmas gift. I'm getting you just the Rob Lowe NFL hat. I don't know how you are in so many fantasy leagues. Is
like
that
it.
enjoyable? Are you rooting for everyone? Or are you going to get pissed? Like, how does that work out? It's probably situational, but
It's different for dynasty than it is redraft. Redraft, I usually go for the same players as much as I can.
Yeah.
And then when I can't get my guys, I like use my rankings and just pick from there, hoping that I'm right. So it's kind of it's all over the place, but I enjoy it. It like for me, it makes me root for every NFL game I'm watching.
yeah.
So it makes no matter what, if it's the Jaguars versus the Titans, I'm not just watching Derrick Henry run all over. I'm also rooting for Christian Kirk to just, score 14 fantasy points to give me a win on Thursday
On
night.
a
or
Tuesday
Monday.
afternoon in London.
Yeah, exactly. That's just where I'm at with it. It doesn't, I like the past few years that I've been super like balls deep in fantasy, like on Sundays, it's just like it's madness, but I love it. I thrive on it.
Scenario for you.
Okay.
Say you're put in a position, championship in your highest payout league.
Okay.
That team wins the championship, but for whatever reason, it keeps the Dolphins out of the playoffs.
All right, you know the answer for this.
Nah, fuck that. I want the Dolphins in the playoff.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna root for fake football over real football. I'm not stupid.
Keegan, what was your answer?
I thought for sure he was going the other way.
Why? You think I need $600 that bad?
You're just a fantasy dude. You're just fantasy first.
I got other leagues.
There it is.
He can make
There
up that
it is.
600 in 12 other leagues.
There it is.
I would accept losing our home league every year if it meant the Dolphins got in the playoffs, whatever. You know what I mean? Did well, got in the playoffs, and I could win other leagues. I would take a loss in our league every year if it meant the Dolphins made the playoff every year.